my calculators down. All right, today we're starting to talk about lesson 10.3, solving quadratics. First of all, what does a quadratic mean? Okay. Based on our polynomial unit that we just finished, if I gave you y equals 2x plus 3, this is linear. It's to the first power. It is a linear equation. We've been solving linear equations and graphing linear equations all year. This is in slope-intercept form. The graph is a line. That's why it is linear. This unit, we are talking about solving something like this. That is a quadratic equation. The only difference between a linear equation and a quadratic equation, linears only have x to the first power. Quadratic has x to the second power. Early on this year, in fact, we did part of this in chapter 5. We graphed quadratics by making a table of values. Now, let's do this like we did in chapter 5. If I plug in -2 for x, I will have -2 squared plus -2 minus 6. So this will be 4 minus 8, so that'll be -4. If I plug in -1, I'm going to have -1 squared plus -1 minus 6. That'll be 1. This will be -6. If I put in 0, I'll have 0 squared plus 0 minus 6 gives me -6. If I plug in 1, I'm going to have 1 squared plus 1 minus 6. That's 2 minus 6, -4. And if I plug in 2, I'm going to have 2 squared plus 2 minus 6. You see what I'm doing? I'm plugging in these values for x. This will be 4 plus 2 is 6, minus 6 is 0. So if I go over here to graph this, when x is -2, y is -4. When x is -1, y is -6. When x is 0, y is -6. When x is 1, y is -4. And when x is 2, y is 0. Now, I could go to 3. I'm sorry, -3 is also going to give me a 0. I would draw this. And it would look like something like that. We did that by graphing, making a table of values. A graph of a quadratic is called a parabola. This is a parabola. These are all parabolas. Is that on me somewhere? Parabola. Okay, a linear equation, the graph is a line. A quadratic equation, the graph is a parabola. And a parabola can look like this, or this. It can look like a smile or a frown. It cannot go left and right. It's either a smile or a frown. All right. The solution of a quadratic equation, aka the x-intercepts, are also known as the roots of the equation or the zeros of the function. That sentence right there is huge to your understanding. When you are solving the solutions, a quadratic, they are known as the roots or the zeros. They are also the x-intercepts. It is where it crosses the x-axis. Now, I am going to show you something. If I graph this, making a table of values, this is what the graph would look like. This parabola crosses the x-axis right there and right there at 2 and -2. Those are the solutions, and this graph has 2 That is the only solution, 0. This parabola is floating up here above the x-axis. It does not cross the x-axis. It has no solution. Now, if I drew these the other way, two solutions could also look like this. Two solutions, 1, 2. One solution, 1, or no solution. The key is this. A quadratic equation has exactly the amount of solutions as the places it crosses the x-axis. So if it crosses it in 2, there's 2, 1, none. All right. Now, this is what you are going to do. I am going to sit down so I can do this at my computer on the calculator. Here are the directions. And if you don't have your calculator, you just need to kind of watch along. So, you are going to go to y equals, and you are going to type in x, so here's your x, squared. See the x squared button? Just hit x squared. Plus 3x plus 3x minus 4. Make sure you're using the gray minus 4. Now, hit the x squared button. Look right here. So does everybody have that typed in? I'll have to do it later. Okay. Now, once you have that typed in, you are going to hit graph. How many solutions does that graph have? 2, because you can see immediately it crosses the x-axis here and here. You are not eyeballing that. What you want to do is, second, calculate. It's the trace button. Now, based on the lesson, what number do you think that I am going to? No, it's not really intersect. 2, I'm going to do the 0. 0. Okay, so I'm going to hit 2. Now, look what it says. Do you see the cursor? See the cursor right here? I'm going to use my right arrow buttons. And it's saying left bound. So I move that cursor so it is to the left. Look, right here. This is a little bit to the left of that x-intercept. See how it's to the left of it? It's below it. That's to the left. Then I am going to hit enter. Now it says right boundary. So I'm going to use my arrow button, and I'm going to move it a little bit above, which is to the right. See how it's a little bit to the right? And I'm going to hit enter. Do we want it to guess? No, we do not. We hit enter again. The first x-intercept is the point 1, 0. So my first answer is 1. Then I'm going to do the same thing again. Second, calculate, 0 is 2. Now, look what I need to do. I need to move my cursor using my left button all the way to the left side. Now watch, this is a little tricky. Do you see how this parabola, if I'm looking at this point right here, isn't above it to the left? Okay, so make sure you put it to the left when it says left boundary. Because if you put it down here, and then you put it up here, it's going to give you an error, because you didn't do left and right. Do you understand that? Okay, so left bound, I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to move it so it is to the right of that intercept. Hit enter, Do we want it to guess? No, we hit enter. That other point of intersection is -4, 0. So the two answers to this quadratic equation are -4 and 1. They are the two answers. Questions? All right, let's go on. Let me go back here. So we just did this. The solutions are -4 and 1. And I found that by using my graphing calculator. Now, let's try this one by graphing. So I'm going to go back to my graphing calculator. I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm going to clear this. Delete. Where's my delete button on here? Clear. Okay, so I'm going to type in 2x squared, 2x squared plus 4, and I'm going to hit graph. How many solutions does this have? None, because it does not cross the x-axis. Now, just say none. Don't write 0, because it's not 0. 0 is a number. This has no solutions because it does not cross the x-axis. Okay, let's try the next one. Y equals. I'm going to hit clear, and I'm going to type in, oh, now I have a question for you. How do you type, let me go back up here. This one is easy to type in because this is y. You've got to get everything on one side, so add 16 to both sides. So x squared equals y. That's what you're typing in. So we're just typing in x squared. X squared. And I'm going to hit graph. Now, maybe, did somebody find Leo's assignment book? Okay. Now, this one is hard to tell because you can't really eyeball it. So, let's do our calculate button. Second, calculate. 0 is 2. Now, left bound. I need to move my cursor a little bit to the left. Enter. Move it over a little bit to the right. Enter. Guess. Enter. Error. No sign change. So, what do you think? Let's go back to y equals. What? Quit. I gotta hit quit. Let me try it one more time. Let's just make sure that I didn't. Let's make sure that I didn't. Okay, so 0, 2. I'm going to go to the left bound. I'm going to make sure I'm to the left. Enter. I'm going to scroll over. I'm going to go a little higher than I was. Right bound. Enter. Guess. Hit enter. And is it giving me an error again? Do you know why? Because it doesn't go above and below the y-axis. So, how do you prove for sure that it is actually resting on that y-axis? First off, I would personally not solve this one by calculator. I would solve it by hand, and let me review that. Don't I add 16 to both sides? So I'll have x squared equals 0. How do I solve that? I take that square root. So x is, what's the square root of 0?